Yes, it is us. We are back. This is Eclectic Minds Podcast, and this is our very first video episode. And we brought on a very, very special person, special
Volume
guest.
2.
Volume 2, throw that in there. Yeah, because the first volume is the audio shit. This is the video and stuff like that, and we changed up the platform that the format some. So now we're gonna be bringing on people to talk about different events, different shit with us. We gonna have fun with this shit, and we got somebody I respect. She's a damn hustler of all different types of backgrounds and shit like that. And I'll let her, tell you what she do and the stuff that she's been accomplishing through her life and stuff like that. But first and foremost, what I've known her from doing stand-up comedy. And we had a couple of shows together and stuff like that. So I want to introduce the people to Tammy Cobb, comedian Tammy. What's the stage name?
What up?
What's the stage name? Tell them the stage name.
Comedian Lady T.
Lady T. There you go. Yeah, Tammy Cobb, aka.
Cobb.
Yeah, Lady T. Yeah, no, I threw your whole government out there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, they can see the shit. They can see the shit anyway. Fuck.
They gonna see
Word, as long as these motherfuckers don't come for your social security number because they want to try to get WIC or some shit like that.
Oh, trust me, they gonna be mad at this social security number, boy. You can't get 2 pennies with this thing.
Yeah, they like, God damn, she ain't got no fucking benefits.
Ain't got shit.
The fuck is wrong with her life? But we glad to have you. We glad to have you. And also, we got my special co-host, Liv. What's up, Liv?
Same old, just doing what I can, trying not to,
just living life and shit.
Go down.
Nice
just
to live your life.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. All right, so
that's what I do. Live my life.
How we gonna start this? We're gonna start this by saying, first of all, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah. So let's start it from saying that, how did the comedy shit start?
Oh, by accident. Honestly, I used to go to the hair salon. Tierra Alexander Carver was my hairstylist, and I would go in the shop. And of course, most salons, they give you one time, but you don't get seen till another time. Mm-hmm. And she was running behind on appointments, and I would just be sitting there talking about like my day with either work or, dating life. And the ladies would be cracking up in the salon about my life. And I'm like, at the time, I'm like, it's not funny. It's not funny. Is that really?
But they insulting me. Or
they found it funny. And she actually gave me my stage name, Lady T, because when I come through the door, she's like, hey, Lady T. She actually signed me up to an open mic down at Simply Fish. It was around the time that the Hades thing was going on, and they had a relief. And so we go down there, and I'm thinking we're just going down to support and everything. I didn't know she signed me up. And I'm like, what I'm supposed to be doing? Because there was mad rappers down there. There was people singing, it's real hood down on the south end. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? She was like, you getting up there and telling your jokes. I said, I ain't got no jokes. She's like, you go like you do what you be in the salon. I be talking real life stuff that done happened to me. So, and I said, I'm trying to get shot by these niggas. So I'm like, they look rough. So,
get your ass off the stage.
Yeah, I'm like, either get booed or get shot. Like, I ain't trying to do neither one. Word. So that's how I got started. And then I just started doing a lot of open mics. I linked up with Arlene and Ali Brathway, who had a bookstore down at 153 South Pearl Street. Mm-hmm. And honestly, at the time, I was working at BJ's Warehouse, and he came through my line. Didn't know Arlene was an author, one of my favorite authors, because at the time, back in my previous life, I was incarcerated, and I read a lot of her books. Mm. And they came through my line saying they're having a grand opening about a bookstore. And I was like, well, I do a little stand-up or whatever. And they booked me. That was my first official gig, and as a headliner, along with Cousin Man and Zoe Verbal, who was a poet. Correct. So it was 2-day event, a Friday and a Saturday, and we did 4 shows. And from there, on our second show, which was that Saturday, like first 2 shows went good on Friday. Now a lot of people, because they wasn't unsure, something new, something different. They were sure about it. But then that Saturday, the buzz from Friday and Cousin Man started calling in other people, because it was like, we got to make this show big. We got to, make it more elaborate. He had connections with Mojave, who was the head of the Urban Guerrilla Theater. Then I met Shavina Richardson, who later became my best friend, like my sister from another mister. All these different people that did poetry from the poetry event. Yeah. So that Saturday show, the first show, 7:30 show, it was fire. But then that 8:30, 9 o'clock show, it was wall to wall packed with people to the point where people were out in the hallway, because the place that they had it at was the Coliseum.
Yeah.
So people were standing outside in the hallway to hear this show.
Hold on. Let me stop you for a minute. Let them know what Coliseum though. This ain't Queens, New York.
What no. The Coliseum down there, downtown.
Yeah, over in New York, y'all.
Yeah, over in New
She
York.
was at the Coliseum, girl. She was there.
Yeah, I was there. I was there legally, but
the Coliseum downtown in New York.
153 South Pearl Street.
Yeah,
it was called the Coliseum. And at the time, it had a lot of Black businesses in there.
Yeah.
Fresh Fly to Xylophone, Nev, who was Soul Kitchen. And it was just a building full of Black-owned businesses. And Arlena Ali just so happened to have the first floor where the bookstore is. And she's an author. She debuted a lot of her books. Then Ali was a filmmaker. He was filming and doing different things. And I just happened to connect with them and was telling them some of my ideals. So a lot of my earlier videos was shot by Brathwaite Publishing. And that's when I started really heavily getting into skits, impersonations.
Yeah.
You can still see them on YouTube to this day. But if it wasn't for that show and connecting with the people in the community, and I didn't even realize how big poetry was in the is in the 518. That's how I got through the word of mouth. And word of mouth is everything. I was nervous as hell. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. But that, that word of mouth. That word of mouth put you on that stage and put you in that position. Let me ask you.
Let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
When before you went into the beauty salon and realized that they were laughing at your sorrows, did you know before then that you were funny?
I've always been a class clown in school. Like I've always had the gift of gab. Jose could tell you, like even in school, when I was in elementary school, middle school, I've always hung out with the older kids, and I've always was just that life of the party, like tied up. But I never was trying to be. It was just a natural thing. But there was a point in my life where shit got real, and it wasn't fun. And so, like I said, I've been incarcerated, been through some messed up things in life where it wasn't a laughing matter. But once you heal from your trauma, I could find the humor in it and stuff. So there was one point I was a real fucked up individual, like a terror out here. And I didn't find humor in anything. I found a lot of sadness, depression, and a lot of anger. So, it took a lot for me to get to this point of where I am in life. A lot of self-care, a lot of just care in general, praying and counseling and meditation and staying away from crazy motherfuckers that make you aggravated. So
that's a lot of shit that you just put. You had a whole bunch of shit that you had to do for yourself to get yourself to this point, and that shit is important. And this is in a perfect segue, and good question too, Liv. So let's backtrack a little bit. So you said about you're growing up and stuff like that, middle school and stuff like that. Put us there. Where was that at? Where was the middle school, the elementary? Where was that at?
Well, my humble beginnings in the beginning, my mother and grandmother put me in Catholic school. So I
You
went,
wearing a
I went
skirt?
to Catholic school,
You
skirt,
went.
all that, yes. So
Mhm.
I was at Cathedral Academy, then I was at St. Casimir's. Then of course tuition hit hard. We was poor, but I didn't know we was poor. But we had them big wooden spoons and everything elaborate in the house, so we looked like we was rich, but we was really
Yeah,
poor.
word.
And then from there, I got transitioned to Arbor Hill Elementary School. And from Arbor Hill Elementary School, like the teachers was really cool. Like they checked in, they really invested in the community. And it was a teacher that stood out to me, Mr. Keller, Miss Mackey, and our lunch aide, Miss Willingham. They were very prevalent because they were in the community, and they really like would come by your house do check-ins. If you was having a bad day, but to see them strong women, and then my mom and my grandmother, they were strong women, and watch how they were in the pillar community. Arbor Hill was my home. And then from Arbor Hill, I went to, of course, Philip Livingston, which now is Livingston Apartments. And of course, I've always been a big girl.
I'm trying to school some damn apartments.
It's Livingston Apartments now, but
that shit
it was
crazy.
Livingston School.
That shit is
but
crazy.
I always got picked on in school for being fat or either being light skinned, and my mother didn't play that. She bought the best for me. Like I've always had name brand everything, but I was big. So I always had to have.
Let me stop you for a second right there. Let me stop you for a second. So even with the name brand stuff and all that stuff you had, you know, mom, you was laced, you was fly, this, that, and third. Kids ain't shit. We know that. I mean, even when I was in school, I cracked jokes on kids and stuff like that. But that's what we did. We had a cracking table. You sat your ass down. We was cracking jokes. That was the shit. But the thing about, like I tell people this all the time, I never cracked on people that couldn't crack back. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not making fun of people if they big, they heavy set, they dark skinned, but I just didn't do that shit. I cracked jokes on people and and messed around with them to make people laugh, but it wasn't with cruel intentions. With all of that stuff that you had, did you think that was enough? Did those jokes hurt? Did those people hurt you and stuff like that with the shit that they said?
Those jokes did hurt, especially talking about being poor. You know what I mean? And
but shit, your ass wasn't that poor if you had name brand shit.
Yeah, but yet again, my mother worked 3 jobs, and so did my grandma worked 3 jobs to give me that. You know what I'm saying? Even my mother and my grandmother was taking care of me, and my father wasn't in the picture. So those father jokes, them jokes did dig because
fuck you, Dad. Fuck you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I used to have some snapbacks because I used to be like, look, what's them shoes? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or some raggedy hairs, you know what I mean? So my mouth was always
bitch, look at your weave though.
Exactly. Or you so bald-headed, you can't even put a Cheerio on the end of that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Cheerio.
So I would come back with some crazy stuff, and it would just be off the cuff. Some of that stuff did dig, but I also know where I came from, and my grandmother and my mother always made me aware that I'm a strong Black woman. Like we come from a long, strong line of women. And I got 9 uncles. So I was surrounded by 9 uncles. I have an older brother that's 13 years older than me. So a couple of times that they done came and brought me to school, people was like, oh, she got people. Yeah, I got people. So
they're whooping your ass.
Yeah. So I mean, but sometimes some things did dig, but I also always had a comeback. So I had a quick, sharp mouth. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes my mouth got me in trouble too by the teacher, by the way. My mother came and whooped my ass in the classroom. So,
But I think we all been through that type of shit. If you get your ass out of class.
I got out of line with the teacher. I never forget, her name was Miss Gersten, was my teacher. And she said something to me, and I was just like, "What's your old raggedy wig? Why don't you go do something with that?"
Man,
And then I called my mother, and I ain't even paying no mind to what I'm talking, like I always do, talking in class. Next day, I know my mother came and cried, chopped the shit out of me, and I was, one of those.
Whoa!
Like, some Mr. Miyagi shit. Your ass probably didn't see that shit coming either.
I didn't see it coming. You know what I mean? But that's how back then, that's how, like, when you did something that was it. Like, you got your ass whooped. Like, my grandmother didn't say that. Like, I used to have to go get my own switch and stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Liv,
too
you ever had
big.
to do that
Still
shit? You ever had to
a
go
whole
get your own
free
switch,
brand.
Liv?
Yeah.
We gotta ask. We gotta ask.
I grew up in the city. We didn't have those.
Yeah, shit. No,
you were being chased by a belt. You were being chased by a slipper.
They had switches. Them shits, them shits is in the shrubbery.
The boomerang chanclas. No.
Or this good old here.
Yes.
They
We had those. Those things would follow you around the house and come back to your mother's hand. Like,
they had switches in the city. You just had to go in the shrubbery. They got shit down there.
We didn't really even have grass.
You ain't got a park, motherfucker.
I've been beat with a switch. I've been beat with a shoe. I've been beat with a wooden spoon. Hell, I've been beat with a Hot Wheel track. That ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the most.
They believe in discipline, and they was very big on having respect for your elders and adults. So
not anymore.
Got the shit out of me in school. And that was the butt of the joke from everybody, because everybody had jokes.
You ever heard this shit? You ever heard this shit? Grandma would be like, boy, I'll kill your ass. And she, still like, you say some shit like that to the kids. These motherfuckers on the phone with CPS talking about something. My mother said she gonna kill me.
My mama said she gonna be here.
Yeah. Man, back then we couldn't say.
These kids are punks nowadays. They ain't tough. We
couldn't say shit like that. What? Hell no.
Yep, but it never stopped me from expressing myself. And then I get to middle school, of course, my biggest person that always has something to say to me, he always just had jokes every class period. That's what sharpened my skills of comebacks and different things. And then I got to high school. My first semester I did at Bishop McGinn. And that was something, but then that tuition hit. My mother snatched my ass right on out. Like, you going right to our Albany High.
Yeah, that tuition ain't no motherfucking joke. I remember when because I was acting up in Hackett, and my grandmother was like, I think I'm gonna put your ass over there in Albany Academy with them boys. They dress up and shit like that. I said, yeah, all right, grandma, this is shit, because I knew that you had to pay for that shit. She didn't know yet. They come find out, tell her that information and shit like that. She said, yeah, your ass gonna go to Albany High with the rest of them bastards.
Especially paying that $1,500 a semester or whatever.
But that shit was crazy.
The crazy thing about it is, like, those shaped me, those cracking sessions at lunchtime and just being picked on. It just sharpen my tools to have a slick tongue and stuff like that. And then when I got to Albany High, I transferred from Bishop McGinn to Albany High, and come to find out all them credits from Bishop McGinn didn't count for shit. Wow. So I wind up having to take a lot of different classes over or start from scratch. And then I wind up meeting a lot of the older classmen and stuff like that. And high school was like one of my best times, except for when I got to my junior and my senior year, and that's when my mother and my grandmother passed. So unexpectedly, and then I wind up dropping out of high school because it was a lot on me and things where I couldn't focus, I couldn't concentrate. And the two main people who have been my support and been there, they died 9 months apart. So I know
that feeling. I know that feeling, Tammy. That shit is devastating. I was raised by my grandmother too, and when she left me, that I was never the same. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I know that. I know Liv got a question. Go ahead, Liv.
So out of all the things that you've been through, that they always say, it's a rough time now, but you'll laugh about it later. What have you drawn the most inspiration from for your comedy? Like what inspired you the most? Like everything in your life all together, if you had one defining moment where you're like, this is what made me, who I am, how funny I am, and like just what essence did you get that made you realize this is what you're supposed to do? Like, what do you draw from?
When I had my son, I was 19 and I had my son, and I was reckless out here in these streets. And
When you say, hold on, Tim, for our listeners, when you say reckless, does that mean you was fucking everybody? What does that mean?
No, wasn't fucking.
Wow.
No, the coochie
Wow.
Well, listen, Liv, I ain't holding shit back.
No,
Me and Tammy,
I have
shit,
no
we go
loosey
back.
goosey with. No, meaning I was out here selling drugs. I was out here in the street selling drugs. I was robbing banks, credit card schemes before credit card schemes been live. So when I dropped, I'll back up.
We could no,
that's real shit. No,
we could go on another show too. We can have on another episode.
Let me back up.
Hit Liv, answer Liv's question, but yeah, we gotta go to that. Segue.
We're gonna have her on another show about that.
I was gonna back up.
Tell us about your old life.
But when I found out that I was pregnant with my son and I wanted to be something better, and at the time I did get incarcerated and I had got locked up. So you sit in a 4x4 cell, you ain't got nobody to run to and hide but yourself and your maker. So I drew inspiration from sitting behind that cell and thinking about my mother and my grandmother, like, am I a disappointment to them? Or do I want to be a legacy and honor them? So my biggest motivation have always been in the back of my mind, my mother and my grandmother and my great grandmother, the three women that I got tatted on me, that I watched them go through so much and be so strong. And here I am doing this fucked up shit and being a disappointment to them. And then when I found out I was pregnant with my son, I'm like, what kind of example can I be to him? And what kind of example I want to be for him? You know what I'm saying? So both my kids, I got 2 kids. My son is 23 and my daughter is 19. My kids are my motivator. My being in jail motivates me too, not to go the fuck back.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But you better than me. Shit, you bet, man. That's you know, it's a beautiful thing, because let me say this though, and give you your props, man, your flowers and shit while you're on the show. Because sometimes people don't snap out of it that fast. You know, these motherfuckers got to keep making the same mistake over and over again, going back to jail over and over again, to then realize, like, you know what, I don't want this shit no more. I don't want this life no more. I don't want this. That time for you sounds like it was enough, and you was like, no, I got a son. Yeah, I got a son. I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah, but it's really. I did go back and forth, not to lie to you. But
to jail?
I went back and forth because I only knew the street life. And once you only know what you know. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I only knew how to hustle. Like, I only knew how to get paid. You get what I'm saying? And when you got rent coming at you, eviction notice, or your power about to be cut off, you get into survivor mode and you're going to do whatever you got to do. And
let me ask you this. Not to cut you. Let me ask you this though. So with that being said, did you have a regular gig, or you were just
oh no, I kept a regular job. I kept
okay.
a regular job, but a regular job was never enough. I got addicted to money. So a regular job wasn't enough for me. A regular paycheck wasn't enough. You get a taste of walking around with $3,000 to $5,000 easy cash in your money every week or every day. Like, that money is an addiction. The money is addiction. So for me, I got addicted to the money because I wind up having 4 cars, a whole house, and everything by the age of 20. But I didn't appreciate it, and I didn't get
Frank Lucas. What the fuck is you doing? God damn.
I was doing some stuff, but
what the hell?
Not for nothing though. I didn't get it the right way, and I hurt a lot of people to get to that, and I was still hurting myself. So there's a difference. So don't get it twisted. I hurt a lot of people to get to that, even though it wasn't the right way. You get what I'm saying? And I was internally and mentally and emotionally a fucked up mess. But people didn't see that on the outside because I put this wall up and I had this mask up that I'm going to be the biggest and baddest out here in this mofo. You know what I mean? And I'd rather people feared me than loved me. And I fucked up in my own community, and that wasn't cool.
You was in grind mode, like you said. You was in grind mode. You was in hustle mode, and that wasn't the person that my
my mother and my grandmother raised me to be. Like, you get what I'm saying? So once I got caught doing what I was doing, and then I went back, and then I came back out, and it took a realization of, what is it? Like, these people surround you when you have all of this, but then the moment it goes away, you don't have nobody around you but you. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So for me, when I did my last bit, like, I spent 10 years on papers. So it was real. Wow. So when I seen who was there for me, wasn't there for me, like, I separated myself. And it's kind of hard to do when you're in the town, when you used to run shit, but now you don't run shit no more. And people can't let you live, or they be like, oh, you want some funny style stuff and things. Not that. It's just, when you got kids involved, I want to be something just like my mother and grandmother was to me, to my kids. They wasn't out here in the streets terrorizing people. They wasn't out here doing this crazy stuff. They was out here being the best version of themselves. You get what I'm saying? So mm-hmm. It's just, for me, I was like, you gotta sometimes cut people off, mm-hmm. and focus on you. So that's why I was like, the counseling came into play for me. Surrounding myself with like-minded people. Hence, that's how the comedy came, because now that I focused on my trauma, of healing my trauma, healing my pain, I can laugh at it now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But first, acknowledge it, for one, and then acknowledge I need help. I can't go back.
Let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you this. So that right there, that statement right there is what I always tell people. Like, the only way because I deal with my own shit too. Me and you talk, off camera and stuff like that plenty of times. With stuff. Liv, knows what I go through. We've recorded it on, I battle a mental illness and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid and ashamed of that shit. And I do my own. I do my own count. I do my own stuff to necessarily help myself, and that's what you have to do. And the thing about it, I tell everybody, the toughest person that you have to deal with is you. You have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you have to have some. And you said that just a minute ago. What did that look like? The first stage of that looked like, as far as like, what moment did it hit you like I gotta get this right, this counseling or something. I gotta reach out to somebody to help me help myself.
And I seen that I was hurting my child. When I seen the look in their faces and stuff like that, and that they wasn't proud of me, you know what I'm saying? And I could care less about anybody's opinion, but when it comes to my children, their opinion of me matter. Like, I could care less about nobody else, how anybody feel about me. But when my kids articulate that they're hurting because of my actions and stuff like that, then it's like, oh damn. Like, and for me, I was always trying to be selfish, but not realizing my selfishness is impacting them. You get what I'm saying? So here I am thinking I'm doing the right thing, but at the same time, it's hurting somebody else. And not realizing that your actions have an effect on everybody. And I didn't think about that. I'm just thinking about me, and what I got to do and these bills coming in. But I'm not realizing I have a name out here. My mom worked hard out here for her name and her legacy. My grandmother worked hard out here in the community, and I'm just up here wrecking it. You know what I'm saying? And not realizing a cause and effect, basically. But I always, not for nothing, I've always worked my entire life. I kept a job. But like I said, I became addicted to money. And we could have a regular 9 to 5 and be all right, but that was never satisfying to me. I always wanted more, especially when I had a taste of what more could be for me and stuff. So hence the reason, like now, by the grace of God, because realizing that you need help and acknowledging you is ugly. It really is ugly. It's not pretty. Because I've never I
What
never
was the first?
understood
Hold on,
ask
what was-
for help. I
yeah, what was
never
the first?
I
What
never
was the?
knew how to ask for help. Like
Yeah.
I was always that one, I'ma just figure it out. Like I'll just figure it out. I'm not gonna bother nobody with my burdens. I'm not gonna bother nobody with my story. I'm not gonna bother nobody with nothing. I just internalize everything and I'll figure it out. And
Let me
hence the
say
reason.
this. Let me say this. So, but what did that first step look like? Did you actually go talk to somebody about
Yeah,
your issues, or did you
yes.
address it like with somebody like professionally, or did you just call people and get like?
No, I have like the same circle around me. They knew, but I've never been the one to express myself like that towards them, even though like they've been my closest friends for 25 and 30 years. I've always been the type of person, I'll just shut down
Mm.
and then I'll figure it out. And then once I figure it out, I'll come back. So everybody just knew that if I'm shutting down, like I got some stuff going on, but I'll come back. But to actually say I need help and go to a professional counselor, and at first I was just like, what this lady going to tell me? She don't look like me. She ain't gonna understand what I'm going through. And for, it takes quite a few. I went through quite a few counselors. Let's be frank.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you got to do
Before
sometimes. Yeah.
before I found the one that works for me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. You
And
got to. That's how it happens.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to go through some folks. Cause I'll be like, look at here, I don't know if you and I are gonna work, but I'll try you out. And then if I feel uncomfortable with you, I'm out. And if you could refer me to somebody else.
Yeah.
But to take those initial steps to say that, it was hard. It was hard to admit that I need help. It was hard to admit that I had these constant feelings and these constant self-doubt and less self-worth. Because I felt like as long as I had the money in the flash, I was worth something. But the moment I didn't have the money in flash, it was like, well, who am I without
yourself?
Or who am I without the flash? Like, who am I if I'm not attached? Because I was attached to this other person and I'm no longer attached to them. So it's like trying to rediscover myself. Who am I without this person? Who am I without all of this elaborateness? Who is Tammy? Like, and then I had to rediscover who is Tammy. What do I like? What I don't like? Where do I see myself? Do I have goals? Because if anybody asks me about tomorrow, I'll say, fuck tomorrow. I'm just trying to live today. That was my normal reaction. Fuck tomorrow. I'm living today. And not realizing there is a tomorrow. You get what I'm saying? But my mentality was way different. I'm like, fuck all you. I'm trying to get this money. You get what I'm saying? So that was my mentality. But then sitting in that cell and the people that was around me was in there with some crazy shit. And
what you in for? I eat people.
Yeah,
that'll change your whole perspective on shit. Bitch, I'm sorry. Did you say you was eating people? I ain't fucking with you, Loretta.
And then I read this book called The Daily Bread, and I would read that, and no lie, like my time was crazy because I did my time in solitary confinement because I knew I couldn't do general population. Because
so you went in prison punching bitches in the face like I'm going to fucking down to solitary confinement.
No. I had a good ass paid lawyer.
So the plea deal was I'm gonna do my whole shit in solitary confinement.
It's like if I gotta go, I need you to negotiate where I cannot be in general population because I already know.
So you did the whole. So hold on. So the viewers will know. How long was that in solitary confinement? How long did you do?
I didn't do too long.
Oh, damn, still, motherfucking a day too long. Shit,
I didn't do too long because I wind up getting out, and the rest of my term was on papers. So,
I get it.
Now,
so the rest of my term was on. I didn't do too long, but I'm just like, if I gotta go, I can't go and be in general population because I already know me, and they'll give me a ticket for some shit. So I'm like,
can't get no more time.
But while I was in there, it was a realization that it ain't nobody in here but me. You know what I mean? Taking the look in the mirror, and I'm like, damn, I'm such a disappointment. Like I'm not that person that my mother expected me to be, or my grandmother or my great grandmother, because those were the women that I respected the most in my house. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you in there with yourself, you have to face your true demons. You get what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody in there but you. You get what I'm saying? And so looking at that realization of looking at myself and where the fuck, I'm like, this some fucked up shit. And I would cry myself at night. I had my face buried in the pillow because I didn't want to be like no punk. But I've been there.
Shit. I don't blame your ass for shit. In prison, solitary confinement, I don't give a fuck where the fuck you at. That shit'll make you do that type of shit.
No, but the thought process was because I build myself up to be like this tough person. But in actuality, I'm really a softie. Like I'm just a big ball of mush. But in the streets, I had to be tough. And I always had to prove myself of being tough. You get what I'm saying? So I had to act like a lot of shit didn't bother me, but it did bother me. But because I'm like, I got to do what I got to do to survive. And I got to do what I got to do because I didn't want to look weak. And I didn't want to look like a punk. You get what I'm saying? And that's that stigma out here, which is in the streets, that you got to look a certain way to your people or your crew, but that's not really how you really are. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I've learned to build this tough exterior, but in the inside, I'm internally going insane
and fighting with yourself.
You're fighting with myself. I always say this on stage, like I'm battling two sides of me. I have a good side and I have a bad side. And it's a constant battle. You get what I'm saying? And it's a constant work in progress. And I know that about myself. But I also know my good is going to outweigh my bad because I'm fighting for my good. You get what I'm saying? And it's crazy because I've never really expressed myself like this. Like I do it through stand-up. And I've never really liked to talk about myself or my journey because I felt like it didn't matter. You know what I mean? But
it made you who you are.
It's a part of me, but it doesn't define me. Correct. It's just a part of my life that I went through to build me to this person where I'm here with you guys. You get what I'm saying? So when I look back on I did some crazy. I'm like, I done had guns pulled on me. I done been jumped by niggas. I've been stabbed and this, that, and the third. I'm like, Dad, God had a purpose for me. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, you might not know what it is, but God knows what it is. And I always believe that God carried me through. It's just I needed to get to where God wanted me to be. And I tell anybody that, whether it's God, Allah, Buddha, Quran, whoever that you believe in, your path has already been written. It's just waiting for you to see it, believe it, and feel it and get there. So it took all of that for me to get here to become full circle. So I'm able to help somebody else that's going through that journey and process. And I couldn't lie to tell you, it was hard for me to ask for help. It was hard for me to say, I can't do this. I don't know where I'm going. I'm internally messed up. And those are the hardest things to say and be in realization that, you know what, I'm not in control. Like I'm out of control. And now I'm at a point where I'm in control, but I've never been in control because God been in control all the time. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. He was waiting for me to realize my worth, for one, to realize my value and my purpose and where I'm at. So he took me through those things, and I had to go through them things to grow up and learn because I was very immature. I was very immature and I was mature but immature at the same time. But it's where, what is it that you want from yourself? And you sit there and you by yourself, you read these books and things. And I'm like listening to her story over here. I'm listening to that story over here. And I'm thinking about my kids. And I'm like, that's not who I want to be. And that's not who I'm trying to be. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you come out, all the temptations is right there in front of you. And it's like, do you run to the temptation to get that quick gratification? Or do you step back and take your time, because life is a marathon, and earn it the correct way? If you earn it the correct way, it'd be so much rewarding. So I literally came out and being in a halfway house, staying on people's couches, had to earn everything all over again. And I am so happy because, one, I ain't got to look over my shoulders. For two, my life ain't. For three, I'm at peace. When I was out there doing all the stuff I was doing, I was never at peace.
Nope.
Never at peace. And I'm at a place now in my life, I really am at truly peace. And I've earned everything, and I'm going to get it 10 times fold over because I'm doing it the right way this time.
That's right. Now, that being said, besides your children obviously being your greatest accomplishment, this thus far, what would you say was like one of your most memorable experiences doing like your comedy stuff? Like, what was one time where you were like, you know what, this was like the best performance? I was so confident, I was so pumped, the crowd was like hype and everything. What was your most like memorable moment, and what do you see for your future in comedy?
Wow, that's a lot.
Yep.
I think when I went to California, and I went out there for all females in comedy convention, thrown by Hope Flood. And I went to the very, very first convention that they had, and it was 77 female comedians throughout the state. And I wind up being picked to go with her on her New York leg of the tour, and being able to travel with her, which linked me with Linnell to be able to
love her,
and which got me to link with Cat Williams, where I was able to open for him. Like, those, from my story to that, and being in presence of people that I watched on TV or my mother and grandmother admire, or in the movies. And I spent my rent money to come out there, like literally. And I only had business cards and the gift of gab of selling myself. You know what I'm saying? And
you had a plan, though. I respect it.
And myself, believing enough in myself to be like, I'm taking this chance and I'm taking this risk. And it paid off, of me opening for these people that I would never thought in a million years that I got a opportunity. And my proudest moment is performing on the legendary Comedy Store stage out in California, where Red Fox has performed, Eddie Murphy has performed, Kathy Griffin, like all these people that I admired. They performed on that stage, and I got an opportunity to perform on that same stage. And I think I literally broke down and cried because doing that for the first time, because I performed on that stage quite a few times, but the very first time, and being out there and finally being seen, and not just from my past, but just being seen as this person that is telling her truth, and y'all find it funny. And that there was a great moment for me. Getting an opportunity to perform at the legendary Proctor's Theater and opening up for Just Hilarious was a great moment. And then recently hosting the step show for Kevin Johnson down at the Palace Theater.
Shout out to Kevin Johnson.
Yeah, to host that. I'm like, these are things that I've wanted to accomplish, and being recognized in your own town, like for something good, you know what I mean? And being able to open and meet and network with people. And that's just being seen.
You flipped it too. You flipped it. You went from being out there doing the wrong thing. You see Tammy, so-and-so's granddaughter, she doing some crazy shit. And then now you got that recognition from the people that you grew up with. They're like, you see Tammy out there, she doing her thing. Like that.
But sometimes though, the hate is real.
Of course, the hate's always real. Look, what people say about you is none of your business.
Yeah, no,
but talking.
So that just further lets me know that I'm doing something right. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like some people though, it's hard. Like I said, when I first came out, because I was still, when I first started doing stand-up, I was still going to parole and probation. So I had to get permission to do these shows. So
damn.
Shout out to my probation officer, my parole officer.
Bitch, can I go? Can I go, bitch?
No, I literally would be like, hey, I got this event and I need to be here. And, but they seen enough of me to really be like, you know what? We're going to give her a try. The moment I violate, they asked to show up either at my job or at my house. Like, you get what I'm saying? But it was because of them trusting me, because I'm like, I got to do something different. You get what I'm saying? Like, I got to do something to keep me away from this. You get it? And I'm like, y'all know I always gonna keep a job. I work because I got to pay money back. So I got restitution. So
damn, I got restitution.
Yeah, restitution.
I owe these motherfuckers $400,000.
And then what do you see? What do you want to see for your future in comedy?
Future is definitely bright. I'm in a venturing into another business. My catering, the World of Eat Fried Chicken catering. My comedy brand is the World of Eat Fried Chicken comedy, because at the time I couldn't afford a caterer, so I would cater my own events and stuff. Now I specialize my own chicken wings, my chicken wing sauces.
Praise Jesus, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I do fried fish as well.
Yeah, I seen this shit. I just gotta taste it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
and I don't eat everybody's damn food either.
I'm venturing off into that. I love cooking. Cooking has always been in my backbone. Like, cooking has always been my sanctuary. I tell anybody, I can't give you no money, but I'll give you a plate in a heartbeat. So so cooking has really been my niche. There's a way I can fuse the comedy and the cooking and be able to be on the Food Network, or just doing nice podcasts about
cooking comics. Ooh, I just made up a show.
Yeah.
Food Network, pick it up.
Like, pop up at your house, tell jokes, and give you a meal.
Tammy, we can do that shit. I could cook too. Shit, I come to the house and we do some shit. Boy, I could cook shit.
Don't no. He
don't mind ass.
He has like 5 things on his
kiss my ass. Listen, I'm a bachelor, but I can make some shit.
Yeah, you could make turkey, what is it? Ground turkey.
I can make
with spaghetti.
A lot of shit.
You can make a seafood ramen
shepherd pie.
No shit, y'all kiss my ass. Both y'all kiss my ass.
I just did a couple weeks ago.
I can make some shit. Listen. I can cook.
Okay. We got a little cookout if you want to.
Jose used to eat beans in a can, rice and beans in a can.
Yeah, I'll let your ass tell it. You ain't never ate no damn rice and beans in no goddamn
you
can.
You didn't? You never had rice from a can?
No. Oh, you talking about, that's when I was young.
Your grandmother, yeah.
So let me tell the viewers. Since you want to try to throw that shit out there. So let me tell the viewers.
Threw it out there in like episode 5 of our volume 1.
Well, I know, but this the video now, motherfucker. So let me just get into that real quick. So my grandmother was black, so she ain't not make no Spanish shit. So what she would do is she would go to Price Chopper and she would go in the little Spanish section out there, and they had the Spanish rice.
Okay.
In a can.
Yeah. So she was like, boy,
in a can.
Huh? You said what? I was eating that shit. That shit was good. She said, boy, I ain't know how to make this shit, so they got some shit that you probably gonna want to eat because it's Spanish. So I ate that shit. Yeah, that shit was good. And I would put that shit with sometimes I would put it with hot dog.
Oh, you cut it up with hot dog?
Yeah, shit. Listen,
the beans and Frank version.
Yeah, you wasn't the only one that was struggling, Tammy. Shit, I was poor too. Shit.
No, but see, the crazy thing is, like, my mother cooked. Like, they house, like, we always had people in our house and going through stuff. So my grandmother would be in the kitchen on Friday night, fish dinners. card parties and stuff like that, rent parties that they would do, charge and stuff. So my grandmother had me in the kitchen at the age of 3 with a little step stool. So I learned to put grits, cream of wheat and stuff. She didn't play them games. Like, by the time you 5 and 6, you know how to do your laundry, you know how to iron. Like,
ain't that goddamn fucking boy? What she was from the
washing
South?
your own hair.
She was from the South.
Yeah, like
doing everything.
You was
doing
being
everything.
independent.
Tammy,
Like,
was grandma from the South?
Yes, my grandma.
That's it. I knew it. What part of the South she was from?
Mobile.
Yeah, my grandma, same shit. She can cook her ass off. She just do the can of rice and shit like that because that was just some shit. She was just like, here, there's some quick shit you can eat. But same thing.
Yeah.
Grandma cooked Fridays, Sundays, all that shit.
Came up. She was a sharecropper, so my grandmother used to work out in the fields before she came up here, and she had like a 2nd grade education. My mother, she had basically a 3rd grade education, but they were all hard workers, and that's all they literally did work. My grandmother used to clean people's houses. She cleaned and worked at a news station.
Mine too. Yeah.
Mother worked at the VA hospital putting together operation kits, and but they always worked. And when she wasn't doing that, she was cleaning people's houses, cooking, doing people's laundry. And so like we was taught, like I have a brother that's 13 years older than me. And we was taught early about being domesticated, about cooking, cleaning. Saturdays was house cleaning, Sundays go to church, even during weeks, Bible studies and all that. You know what I mean? So I had that growing up, is when they untimely death, when I strayed away from all of those things. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like I said, it was a lot on me. It was really a lot. And at the time, me and my brother was not cool at all. We was not close. We had a real messed up relationship. So I really was out there defending myself. You know what I'm saying? So, but now that we've reconciled and things like that, and acknowledge a lot of things, you know how family be, especially when people pass, and
I want grandma curtains. Bitch, you ain't never came over here a day in your fucking life talking about you want grandma curtains.
Exactly.
Get the fuck out of here.
They literally, like, when the first person that passed in my family was my great grandmother. Her name was Tammy Cobb, and we called her Big Mama. She was like the glue that held the family. It was her, my grandmother, and my mother. They was like the matriarchs in the family. And it was like once those 3 went, that's when the family separated and stuff.
I know that all too well.
Yeah, so you know how that goes. So I was really out here. Like I have a large family, but I wasn't close to none of them. And at the same time, I'm like, I'm not gonna bother them because I don't really mess with them in real life. So my thought process, I ain't never really fucked with you then. I ain't gonna fuck with you now. And I've always been that person. And then if I fuck with you then, I ain't fucking with you now. You know what I mean? And I just been that way. But it was those things is what taught me how to be in life, of keeping a clean house, how to cook and things. And like my cooking always got me in trouble because I would feed niggas and then they think they gonna move in. No, nigga, it's just a plate of food. No.
Well, he said, does this plate come with some pussy?
Yeah.
God damn, that chicken was good, bitch. Can I have some?
Wow.
Not for nothing, but back in the day, people questioned me because I didn't look like this. I was a straight nigga, baggy clothes, but my hair stayed.
Straight nigga.
I got mistaken for a dude quite a few times. Like I'm mistaken for a guy.
Damn, really?
So, I did not present this that you see, but my hair stayed.
Listen, you got some pussy under them jeans? That's crazy. That's crazy. Damn, you was looking that rough in the face? How the fuck they got confused you with a nigga?
Yeah, well, because I was close to 400 pounds. Like I ate a lot of my problems. Yeah. Like I said, I grew up with 9 uncles. My uncles took me in. So I had that dude-like mentality. Like I have a masculine side to me. And that's how I can always blend in with the homies. Cause you know.
Yeah.
But over time, my transformation of once I started loving myself and healing from my trauma and things and recognizing food is not going to give me that comfort. You get what I'm saying? I have to put it within myself. And that's with counseling and recognizing. So I started transformation. And then too, doing comedy when I met all these people and I'm looking like, you know, I'm like, shit, I'm looking like chopped liver. And I'm like, and then playing back my videos of when I first started doing stand-up, your stage presence, which we were taught, is a number one thing, your stage presence. You get what I'm saying? It's 90% business, 10% stage. You get what I'm saying? So the way you present yourself and your brand. So it's through these last, because I've been doing stand-up for 10 years now. So it's my transformation started when I started comedy, because even back then, before the stand-up, even though I would stay getting my hair done, my clothes game was just like a nigga. I always made sure I had the fresh new gear, like sneakers, that. But at the same time, I'm still a thug. You get what I'm saying?
Damn, fucking thug out Tammy.
Through the years is my transformation with myself eternally. So I shed 225 pounds. I started really taking focus and pride in my looks. Like I did before, but more so, not so much more on the masculine side, but more on the feminine side. And especially with the name that I was given, Lady T, I need to be accordingly. You get what I'm saying? And I'm a queen. All of us women are queens. You get what I'm saying? And you just need somebody just to help you adjust your crown. And
I mean, even if you dress like a dude and presented like a dude because you was like rough, you don't have a manly face. You have a feminine face. For sure. I would have been able to tell.
I don't have a manly face, but a lot of people couldn't tell because I used to wear a lot of fitteds all the time. I used to wear a lot of fitteds. The flannel baggy.
Yeah,
so I was way bigger. So the girls was just like, they just have been man boobs. You know what I'm saying? So sir, they came up to me to cop something, sir. And I was like, where you see sir at?
She had a fucking Thug 101 gear on and shit like this.
Yeah, I had that. So,
like you sitting there and look like you about to rob motherfuckers with the Roscoe and everything else.
So the transformation began once I started healing from my trauma and shedding, because that was my cover up. Being that way was a cover up for me, of a way of protecting myself, especially when I'm out here in the streets.
Your armor.
As a way of covering, you know, me being a female, because, you know, niggas be always trying to do some dumb shit. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I still done went through some shit because of the fact they wanted some man pussy. You know what I'm saying? So
they said, now she got pussy. I checked it.
But being able to talk about the trauma that I've been through and actually healing, and me doing the transformation of that is shedding a lot of my past off me, so I can be the person y'all see today and be the person for my kids and be the person for my community and stuff like that. But it's a process. It's all within, it starts within your mind, within your soul and your spirit. And that, you know, mental health is real. You know what I mean?
That shit is real.
I'm diagnosed with depression. You know what I mean? I have anxiety. But I take my meds, of course, and then do my count. And also I've learned ways to cope with it. You can live with it and have a normal life. A lot of people don't think you can, but you really can live with your diagnosis and not let the diagnosis take over you. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I do my meditation, I pray. I'm constantly doing affirmations for myself and speaking them out in existence. So when you speak it, you hear it, you can start doing it. You get what I'm saying? Sister here, Brooklyn Shea, Sharina Richardson, she does, I don't know if y'all can see this, a manifestation oil is with lavender. June berries, rose petals. I use this every day. I put it on me. It keeps me calm. And things. I say what I want, put it out in the atmosphere, burn my incense and stuff. I try to be more upbeat and positive, because once you get out of that mind frame of being negative, because it's so quick, you could be so negative, and negative take a lot of energy. So I'd rather put positive energy into myself. And before, I could never see past tomorrow, but now I'm looking past tomorrow. So you want to know what my future holds? I got some merch.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tell them where to find that
with
merch.
us. Share that with us.
Tell them where to find that merch at.
There it is. Where can they find the merch at, Tammy?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a website, but y'all can inbox me.
You have Instagram? Tell them your Instagram.
I got 2 Instagram pages.
Tell them. Tell them, girl.
So what's the Instagram pages? Tell them Instagram pages.
Oh, yeah, my other shirt right here. You thinking I say it?
Yeah.
So
Plug the Instagram page. What's the Instagram page?
Both my Instagram, I have Tammy, TAMMY COBB 4L, and then I have Lady T, LADYT 4L, and then I have my Facebook page, Tammy K Cobb on Facebook. I also, the newest thing during the pandemic, my TikTok TikTok has been like really my go-to. Like, so it's Tammy Cobb 4L or comedian Lady T on TikTok. But most importantly, like my cooking gives me peace. Like my cooking, I'll get in this kitchen and I will whip up whatever. I'm always thinking of
neck
things. Flame. Nah, I ain't master neck bones yet. I'm a black artist. I ain't
let him know. He'll eat it when you do.
I ain't eat no fucking neck bones. You quiet.
Neck bones. I have not mastered oxtails.
My mother be making that shit.
About oxtails. I don't eat that. Stuff I don't eat, I don't cook.
Boy, I don't blame you. I don't eat that shit either. I don't eat it. And shout out to the motherfuckers that do eat it, but I ain't fucking with it.
Yeah, shout out to y'all.
Word. Hold on. Let me say this.
That's just it.
Let me say this. So before we wrap this has been a dope ass interview. Before we wrap this interview up, I want to kind of do some word associations. So I'm gonna throw out a word. Because no, seriously, because I think your story, like, first of all, I didn't know you did the Comedy Store shit. I didn't know that. That's dope as hell. I didn't know that. I did know that you did link with a couple of famous comedians and stuff like that. We did have those conversations. That shit is dope. And I commend you for that. The jail shit, I didn't know that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like now I know when I stand next to your ass, I'm gonna be checking for my motherfucking wallet.
Wow. Let me tell you something.
She didn't say she was a thief.
She said financial shit. Fuck that.
She wasn't robbing from regular folks. She was stealing from banks and shit. They have money.
Yeah, they got money and they got money.
Hey, listen, I what the fuck she said, but still, after this fucking interview, I'm gonna be like, all right, bitch, don't take a nigga last $5. But no.
You can leave your purse and wallet around me. That's one thing. Like I never fuck over my friends and family like that because I know. I'm kidding. I get it though. But motherfuckers used to be like that. I'm like, bitch, you ain't got enough money in that purse for me. Sorry, it's just not enough. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's do this.
Your wallet, hell, you can leave them Louis Vuittons. Like that ain't my lane.
Ancient lane, yeah. Let's do the word association. You ready? Yeah. Let's do the word association. Like I said. So again, like this interview and this conversation that we're having and whatever on on Eclectic Minds Podcast. I wanted you to be the first guest because I feel like first of all, as lady comedian and stuff like that, you've been doing your thing. I've always had some respect for you. I've seen you where you was and then where you at now. So I'm happy for that. And just to hear the shit that you were just saying that you was going through and stuff like that. So I'm gonna throw these words out to you because I feel like this interview conversation that we have is going to help people. So I appreciate you for telling the truth.
Don't make me cry. I'm about to say,
fuck that. Let that shit out. You gotta do that shit too, because that's real shit.
No, but it's
hold on. Let me get to the word association.
Okay.
So love,
peace and happiness,
family,
number one important that God gives us.
Determination.
Never give up, no matter what people tell you.
Depression.
Is real, but you can overcome it and live with it. It don't define you.
Success.
Whatever you want it to be, not what society tells you, but what you feel in your heart and spirit is your success.
Goals.
Always have them, try to achieve them no matter what.
And last is moment.
Live in it, be present for it, and live your truth through it.
Ooh, motherfucker. God damn, Tammy. Put you right on the spot. You came up with some good shit, too.
She is. She is.
Motherfucker.
She is good. She
I'm
is
over here touching
good.
my own self. No, but seriously, no, that was real. That was dope. That was real.
But
look,
see, a lot of people don't never, and now let you in my inner circle, like this, I do interviews, but this is the most that I've been comfortable. I usually be so freaking nervous. I usually keep stones with me, like Shay got me these stones. And matter of fact, let me go get them. Because I'm always nervous. And then I just learned to be like, be yourself. And don't care what other people think. And that's where I've been at on these last like 5 to 10 years of being yourself, living your truth, and don't worry about what people think of you. But let me show you these stones. These stones are cute.
Okay, all right. She getting the stones, y'all. We gotta pay a pause for the motherfucking
You know
stones.
what she was saying something before about, how, good and evil, and it's so easy for you to just do the wrong thing. You know what I mean? For people in general. And doing the right thing sometimes is the hardest thing you have to do. And for someone to realize that, they can do the right thing and to take the time and energy to put it into doing the right thing, it's a blessing that people, recognize. And she's obviously taken, the opportunity to do the right thing, and it's paying off. Your presence, Tammy, is amazing. And your story is inspiring, and I know that people will see this and will realize, like, hey, maybe this is similar to my story, and I'm not going to give up. So thank you so much.
I never really like talking about myself. Like, I never like talking about myself.
Well, we glad you talked about yourself today, Mom.
Shay does this thing with our group. So I'm a part of a group called Her Temple Monologues. Shout out to Shavina Richardson for
Shout out to Shavina Richardson, aka
Brooklyn Shay.
Damn right, aka Brooklyn Shay.
She started
Brooklyn Live
10 years ago, and Her Temple Monologues about taking care of your temple and knowing your self-worth and things. So we have this ceremony, we do retreats, and she gives this bag, and you reach inside the bag, and she always be like, the stone chooses you. So the very first one that I got when I became a member of the group was this stone right here. I don't know.
Believe.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And this one I got.
Trust.
And then this one each year.
Success.
Yeah.
And then one.
Welcome to success.
Welcoming your newness and welcoming to the person that you are. And then this one.
Forever.
Like forever staying true to yourself and forever staying true to your beliefs. And then this one.
Girl.
Yeah. So the crazy thing about it, like, that's why I always wear jeans or something with pockets, because I'll keep like the believe in myself. I'll keep the success and the trust in my pockets, because before every show, I get really, really nervous to the point where I'm going to throw up, or I don't know, shit on myself, piss on myself. But I get
That's
it.
good to know. I ain't gonna be standing next to your ass. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So I knew it was your second ass. I knew it.
I get extremely, before every performance, anxiety and everything takes over me, but I keep these stones, like these smaller stones, on me. And that's why I always have my hand in my pockets, or sometimes I just hold them, because it'll calm me down. It'll calm me down in order for me to focus on my routine and focus on the task at hand. And I thank her, and I surround myself with another organization I'm a part of. It's called United Sisters of New York. And Tinica Wilcox, who's a school teacher, started this almost 19 years. And I became a co-vice president. I've been a part of it for the last 10 years. And we give out scholarships to women in the community. And we have a junior program, and we mentor young ladies ages 8 to 16. Wow. And I found these women through the book club at 153 South Pearl Street, through Arlene and Ali. And if it wasn't to having those type of people in my life to push me and to help me see my greatness and help me push through what I was pushing through, I don't know where, I probably wouldn't be here with y'all right now. I probably
well, I'm thankful to everybody because that you're here. Yeah, I'm thankful that you're here.
I probably wouldn't have been here, no lie, because I got to a real dark.
But you made it out of that, Tammy. Let me say this, and I'll give you your moment before we wrap this interview up. So tell the people where they can find your merch and the stuff like that to contact you from on your social media platforms and stuff like that one more time.
Yeah. Okay. So Facebook, Tammy K Cobb, Tammy, middle initial K, COBB. My comedy page, The World to Eat Fried Chicken, that's on Facebook as well. Then I am on TikTok, Lady T, Tammy Cobb, TAMMY, COBB, 4L. Then I'm on Instagram, Lady T, LADYT, 4L. And also Tammy Cobb, TAMMY, COBB, 4L. My email address is tammycobb4l@gmail.com. You also can reach me through her Temple Model Logs page. You can reach me through the United Sisters of New York page.
You got a lot of motherfucking contacts.
Yeah, right.
You got a lot of motherfucking contacts.
Word. There ain't no way you can't get a hold of me.
Word, hell no. If they can't, they asses is lying and they wasn't trying to get a hold of your ass.
I brought here, but wait a minute, I don't want no creepers on my phone.
Yeah. Don't come with the bullshit. Listen, don't contact Tammy with the bullshit. Talking about you want somebody blowing your ass. She ain't doing no shit like that.
No bullshit.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's the shit I'm talking about. You see how your face, you just made that face with? She ain't want no shit like that. Don't be talking about blowing nobody ass. But yeah.
But you be surprised, like
motherfucker. I ain't surprised as shit. I already know what time it is. These motherfuckers out here nasty, and they like shit like that.
He knows, because from experience.
No, Liz, you can kiss my ass. I don't know shit. You can't go near my ass. I only have an exit. Not a motherfucking
exit. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't play that bull. Yeah, I don't play them games. To each his own, but that shit ain't home for me. Fuck that. But let's wrap this up. I just want to say again, Tammy, I appreciate you, aka Lady T, comedian, chef, every damn thing you
woman of New York, woman from look, like I said, you came from where you came from, and now you're here, and we appreciate you, and you may have people may have thought you was a dude, but you 100% lady. Word. Especially today, you showing that. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being who you are.
For this platform, and thank y'all for doing what you're doing, and especially you, Jose, sharing your truth as a Black male out here in the community and speaking that you've been dealing with your battles, because like I said, it's so taboo about mental illness in our Black and brown community.
Yes, it is.
And definitely need to speak on it more. There are resources that are out there, but you got to be first willing to acknowledge you need help. You know what I mean? We all
and ask.
ask. Yeah.
Mhm.
We all stumble sometime, and it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah,
You know,
it is. It is. So with that, hold on, with that last thought, I'm gonna leave that at that, Tammy, and that's dope, and I appreciate that, and thank you for for bigging me up on that. But again, this show is about you. We appreciate you. Listen, our viewers, this is the first video, and like I said, I reached out to her. I wanted her to be our first interview conversation to tell her story. I mean, she told me more than I even fucking knew, so that was dope. And and this is like I said, this is gonna be episode 1. This is phase 2 of Eclectic Minds Podcast. You can, we're gonna have a video on our YouTube page. We're gonna have our stuff still on audio on streaming platforms, on on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, all of those streaming platforms. You can catch this episode and the audio, but definitely go to the YouTube page and check us out, because we're doing the video and shit for y'all, because people was requesting that shit. Liv, also, tell them where else they can find us in the email and stuff like that, please.
So you can find us on all your podcast platforms, YouTube, and our email for question, concerns, topics. If you know someone you want us to interview, email us your suggestions, Eclectic Minds Podcast 2019@gmail.com.
And we appreciate y'all, man. And like I said, when we put this shit on YouTube and stuff like that, make sure that you're hitting the like button and stuff like that. Like I said, we're gonna continue to keep pushing content. Like I said, this is Eclectic Minds phase 2. We're doing this video stuff.
Volume 2.
Volume 2. And we had a very special guest, and comedian Lady T, aka Tammy. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate y'all.
Maybe we'll get you on that next one, that crime one. I'm just kidding.
Is that Tammy in the fucking getaway car? Is that her?
Just kidding.
Stole all the fucking money out of motherfucking Bacon.
I know. My crime wasn't that.
He is out.
I know. I'm just kidding.
No, but my thought like, my thought process was like thank y'all, because like I said, I've never been comfortable in sharing my story. And that's like the crazy thing is, like, Shay always be like, you live in your truth. You know what I mean? She always be like, you live in your truth. And the crazy thing is, a lot of us don't live in our truth because we're ashamed of it. Yeah. And I was always ashamed of my past. But at the same time, I've been healing, and it's nothing for me to be ashamed of, because nobody is perfect. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I said, the more I speak on it, it's healing to me, and then hopefully it'll heal somebody else that is going through something. You know what I mean? So I'm getting more comfortable. Like, for me, it's joke wise. Like, I'll tell it on stage because I can have my segues and stuff. Yeah. But thank y'all. I love what y'all doing. You're making an impact. Keep doing what you're doing, Jose, because like I said, you and I started out, you was doing comedy before me, and to see you evolve and keep pushing through it. Like, keep pushing through all the mental stuff, keep pushing through, because that's not your defining moment. You get what I'm saying? It's just a part of it. But just keep pushing through. And even you, Liv, I don't know what you got going on, but y'all got
light skin, that's all. She just high yellow, that's all.
Fluorescent.
True, because it's so quick to give up, and it's quick, like you said, to be so negative. It's a lot of energy to be negative and turn it to a positive. Yeah. So we got to work together, Jose.
Oh yeah, we doing that. We doing that. But again, listen, this has been Eclectics Minds Podcast, and we've had the pleasure of interviewing and having a conversation with Lady T, Tammy, and we appreciate y'all. And just keep looking for more content. Like I said, we're gonna keep cranking these episodes out. Make sure you support, and we're gonna keep doing our thing. All right, Liv, you want to say something to people before you leave?
Yeah, just keep listening, start watching, and definitely check out Miss Tammy Cobb here, because she has a lot to show and she is going to continue to shine. And don't forget to big us up, like share and subscribe, and follow us. Still continue to wear your mask and wash your hands, motherfucking monkeypox.
All right, on that note, Eclectic Minds Podcast, we signing off. Peace.